What would a Roman emperor say about your phone? What would a Japanese swordsman say about your failure? What would a survivor of Auschwitz say about your depression? This is Stoic Rebuttal, a podcast where old philosophers are asked to answer modern problems. One voice per episode, 10 minutes. Now, today's answer. What follows are the words of a man who never lost a fight and never explained himself to the losers. His name was Miyamoto Musashi. He killed his first man in a duel at 13. By the end of his life, he had fought more than 60 such duels, and every opponent he faced, he outlived. In his final years, he climbed into a cave on the side of a mountain called Reigando and wrote a short book for his students called The Book of Five Rings. He finished it, wrote a second and shorter book called the Dokkodo, The Path of Aloneness, and then he died. You are not his student. You are a stranger who has climbed the mountain in the dark and found him still seated at the mouth of the cave. Do not expect him to raise his voice. He will speak once. Listen. It is before dawn. The fire in the pit has gone to ash. The swordsman is seated on a flat stone at the mouth of the cave. The katana rests across his lap in its scabbard. The valley below is a bowl of white mist. A student has climbed the path in the night and is now seated on the ground in front of him. The swordsman does not look at the student. He looks at the mist. He speaks. You came up the mountain to ask how to stand. Then stand. A tree does not explain its roots. You tell me you cannot refuse, that every door knocks and you open it, that every hand asks and you give until the palm is empty. A warrior without a lord serves no one. That is what you have become. The swordsman in service knows his master by name. He bows to that name and to nothing else. Your principles are your lord. If you bow to every passing request, you have no master. You also have no blade. The blade without a hand is only weight. The hand without a line to hold is only a fist in the air. Water carves stone only because it keeps its line. Think on that. The river did not argue with the rock. It did not complain. It chose its line and held it through winter after winter, and the rock is now a bowl for the river to rest in. Abandon your one once, and the stone laughs at you. Hold the line, and even the mountain yields. Name 3 things today you will not trade. Only 3. Write them on one sheet of paper. Set the sheet where you can see it. When the next request asks you to break one of the 3, do not apologize. Do not explain. The word is already in your mouth. No. Bow to the principle. Walk on. Now, the fear. You say you are afraid of being seen, of being small in the eyes of others, of the strike that lands in front of a watching crowd. Good. You are paying attention. Fear. It will not leave because you asked politely. The swordsman, who waits to feel no fear, will die waiting for a feeling that never comes. I have never entered a duel without it. Not once. The hand tightens on the hilt. The breath shortens. The body knows what the mind will not admit. Courage is not the empty hand. Courage is the hand that trembles and strikes anyway. Name the fear aloud, as if it were a man kneeling in the room across from you. Look at its face, then move. The strike carries the fear with it. The fear does not stop the strike from landing. It only makes the strike honest. A cherry blossom falls, whether or not the branch is ready. The blossom does not apologize to the wind. It lets go, and the pond holds it. Choose one small thing today that frightens you. Small is enough. The mountain is climbed by the next step, not by the summit. Do the thing before the sun touches the valley floor. That night, sit in the quiet and note what you found. The fear was always larger than the act. Now the last one, and the hardest. You say you fell in front of people who knew your name. You say the ground you knelt on that day is the ground you have lived on since. Hear this. Failure does not take your honor. Only refusing it does. The duelist who falls and rises keeps his name. The one who lies in the dust and calls the dust his home is the one who loses what the blade never took. Look at the failure plainly. Do not decorate it with excuses. Do not bury it with shame. A mountain does not apologize for the rock slide. It simply stands, changed, and keeps standing. The next rain begins the new face. The old face is in the valley now, and the valley is richer for the stones. Write the failure tonight in one sentence. 1. Below it, write what you will do differently. Then close the book. Rise from the mat where you have knelt too long. The ground you kneel on is not the ground you will die on. It is dusk now. The mist that burned off in the morning has returned at the other end of the day, lower this time, curling at the roots of the pines. The swordsman has risen from the stone. The katana is unsheathed. The last red light of the sun is on the length of the blade. He moves through the practice forms with no audience but the student and the trees. He speaks as he moves. You came up the mountain to ask how to stand. Now I will tell you how to move. Your plan has broken. Good. A plan is not a road. It is a shape held for a moment. The master does not grieve when the shape is lost. He finds the new vessel and pours. Water does not argue with the cup. It becomes the cup. Then the cup breaks and it becomes the river again. The river does not mourn the cup. Rigid steel shatters on the first strike it was not ready for. The blade that bends survives. Bamboo bends all winter and stands all spring. The stiff branch is already on the forest floor. Look at the ground you actually stand on tonight. Not the ground you drew on a sheet of paper last week. The drawing was a useful lie. Now the lie has served its purpose, and you are on real earth. When the plan breaks, stop. 5 breaths. Count them as the blade counts its own weight in the hand. Then ask one question. What shape is the new container? Pour yourself into that shape. Move with what is, not with what you wrote. Next. You came up this mountain in a hurry. I watched the dust of your climb for an hour. You rushed the path and missed every turn in it. Speed is not skill. The hurried swordsman dies first. I have buried men who were faster than me. They met me in a rush and met the ground soon after. Every situation has its own rhythm. The trained ear hears it. The untrained ear hears only its own panic and mistakes the panic for the world. Most urgency is theatre. Notice who is performing and for whom. The master waits, not in passivity, in reading. The opening will come. It always does. It cannot be summoned by flinching. It cannot be hurried into the room. The crane stands still in the shallow water for a long time. The water does not move around its legs. The fish forget the crane is there. Then, in one motion, it eats. Before you answer the next thing that demands you now, count 10 breaths. 10. Then ask if the urgency was the world's or only the screen's. Move when the opening is real, not when the noise is loud. Now the last teaching, for the student who has left his old campaign and does not know where to point the blade. Without duty, the hand drifts. Without a line, the blade finds no work. You have left what you were. You have not yet chosen what you are. This is not a wound. This is the moment before the cut. A warrior without a campaign is still a warrior, if he treats each day as the campaign. The path is walked by walking. The way is cut by cutting. No map was ever drawn before the first foot entered the forest. The stone does not ask the chisel what the statue will be. It meets the chisel. The chisel meets the stone. The statue is what remains between them after the striking is done. Treat tomorrow as one campaign. Write the objective in one line before you break your fast. Begin before the sun is overhead. Pursue it until the last light leaves the blade. Dignity returns through the doing, not through the knowing. The blade is sheathed now. The student rises and bows to the stone. The swordsman looks once at the valley. The last red light goes out on the edge of the katana. He speaks into the dark. Go down the mountain. The path is walked by walking. The cave will still be here. That was Stoic Rebuttal. Thank you for listening. If this one was worth 10 minutes of your life, there will be another one next week. If it was not, tell me what did not land. See you then.